Super Bowl XXXI was an American football game between the American Football Conference, AFC, champion New England Patriots and the National Football Conference, NFC, champion Green Bay Packers to decide the National Football League, NFL, champion for the 1996 season. The Packers defeated the Patriots by the score of 35-21, earning their third overall Super Bowl victory, and their first since Super Bowl II. The Packers also extended their league record for the most overall NFL championships to 12. It was also the last in a run of 13 straight Super Bowl victories by the NFC over the AFC. The game was played on January 26, 1997 at the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. This Super Bowl featured two clubs that had recently returned to competitiveness. After 24 mostly dismal seasons since Vince Lombardi left, the Packers' fortunes turned after head coach Mike Holmgren and quarterback Brett Favre joined the team in 1992. After 4 losing seasons, the Patriots' rise began in 1993 when Bill Parcells was hired as head coach, and the team drafted quarterback Drew Bledsoe. Under their respective head coaches and quarterbacks, Green Bay posted an NFC best 13-3 regular season record in 1996, while New England advanced to their second Super Bowl after recording an 11-5 record. The game began with the teams combining for 24 first-quarter points, the most in Super Bowl history. The Packers then scored 17 unanswered points in the second quarter, including Favre's then Super Bowl record 81-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Antonio Freeman. In the third quarter, the Patriots cut the lead to 27-21 off of running back Curtis Martin's 18-yard rushing touchdown. But on the ensuing kickoff, Desmond Howard returned the ball a then Super Bowl record 99 yards for a touchdown. The score proved to be the last one, as both teams' defenses took over the rest of the game. Howard became the first special teams player ever to be named Super Bowl MVP. He gained a total of 154 kickoff return yards, and also recorded a then Super Bowl record 90 punt return yards, thus tying the then Super Bowl records of total return yards, 244, and combined net yards gained, 244. This was the first Super Bowl broadcast by Fox under its first contract to carry NFL games. By a large margin, it was the highest-rated program aired in the network's history at the time. NFL owners awarded Super Bowl XXXI to New Orleans during their October 26, 1993 meeting in Chicago. This was the 8th time that New Orleans hosted the game. After coach Raymond Berry benched and then cut future CFL record-setting MVP and champion Doug Flutie before being fired himself in 1989, the Patriots had 3 more losing seasons, including a dismal 1-15 regular season record in 1990. Then, in 1993, New England turned to veteran head coach Bill Parcells to lead the team, hoping to repeat the success he had with the New York Giants. Although the Patriots posted a 5-11 regular season record during Parcells' first year, 8 of their losses were by 7 points or fewer. To Parcells' credit, much of the improvement was the result of the contributions from their draft picks that they made before the season, linebackers Willie McGinest and Chris Slade. Tight end Ben Coates also became a major contributor as a favorite target of quarterback Drew Bledsoe, who was taken with the number 1 overall pick in the 1993 draft. With that improvement, the team was sold to Robert Kraft in January 1994 for a then record price of $200 million. It was an astonishing price considering the Pats had long been considered a laughingstock by local and national media as well as opponents, and had one of the worst stadiums in the league, Foxborough Stadium. During the losing spell they had rarely sold out, resulting in most games going without local television coverage. Sports in New England at that time centered on the beloved, successful, Celtics and Red Sox, and even Bruins, not the NFL team orphaned in remote Foxborough, Massachusetts, 30 miles outside Boston. During an earlier run of 13 years in the 1970s and 1980s with only 1 losing season, the very competitive Patriots sold out that venue regularly. 5. The team then posted a 10-6 record in 1994 after starting the regular season at 3-6, but were eliminated by the Cleveland Browns in their first playoff game. The Krafts had also eliminated the practice of TV blackouts, and courted and nailed deals with local affiliates, and the season resulted in a resurge of popularity in the NFL game across the region. New England then had a letdown and failed to make the playoffs in 1995, a year when many organizations were coming to grips with the new salary cap put in by the NFL to improve competition in the league. In the offseason, Parcells hired his old Giants defensive coordinator, Bill Belichick, as assistant head coach and defensive backs coach. Part of the team's spotty performance that season might have been that the head coach, Parcells, and the new owner, Kraft, did not get along well. Belichick came to serve during the 1996 season as the head coach's interface with the Kraft family and the non-football operations side of the business. 5. After losing their first 2 games in the 1996 regular season with lackluster performances, the Patriots would run through the rest of the season competitive in every game, finishing with an 11-5 record, their best in the Parcells era, and winning the AFC East. The Patriots' offense became the 7th best unit in the league in terms of yards, and second best, behind the Packers, in points. Their pass offense, led by Bledsoe and wide receiver Terry Glenn, ranked 3rd in the NFL. Bledsoe threw for 4,086 yards and 27 touchdowns against 15 interceptions. Glenn set a rookie record with 90 receptions, which yielded 1,132 yards and 6 touchdowns. Tight end Ben Coates was also a big contributor, catching 62 passes for 682 yards and 9 touchdowns. Wide receiver Sean Jefferson recorded 50 receptions for 771 yards and 4 touchdowns. Running back Curtis Martin would be the focal point of the rushing attack with his 1,152 yards and 14 touchdowns on the ground, while also catching 46 passes for another 333 yards and 3 touchdowns. Pro Bowl running back Dave Meggett provided the team with a good special teams threat, gaining 1,369 yards and a touchdown returning kickoffs and punts, while also rushing for 122 yards and catching 33 passes for 292 yards. On defense, the team's main weapon was Pro Bowler McGinest, who recorded 49 tackles, 2 fumble recoveries, an interception which he returned 46 yards for a touchdown, and a team-leading 9.5 sacks. Linebacker Chris Slade added 7 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. New England also had a solid secondary, led by defensive backs Willie Clay, 72 tackles, a fumble recovery, 4 interceptions, 50 return yards, Ty Law, 56 tackles, 3 interceptions, 45 return yards, 1 touchdown, and Lawyer Milloy, 54 tackles, 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery, 2 interceptions. After winning Super Bowl II after the 1967 regular season, the Packers became a losing team for much of the 1970s and 1980s, only making the playoffs in 1972 in the strike-shortened 1982 season. In addition to having the reputation of being a poor team, the Packers were unable to attract good players because many did not want to play in Green Bay's cold winter climate for a small market team. Citation needed.